Hello, Commander. Anyone who has played the most recent XCOM games is familiar with this phrase welcoming you to XCOM. In XCOM, you kill aliens, build up a strategically mapped out base, and save the world from certain doom. I'm kidding you. You watch as your soldiers get killed after they miss 95% chance shots, place labs wherever you can fit them, and somehow scrape your way to victory after numerous failures. It is still fun though, partially due to its difficulty, but mostly due to its strategy and customizability. Now come along with me, Commander Rio, as I tell you why you should join us in the battle for Earth in the XCOM series. XCOM is a science fiction video game that combines turn-based combat with base management and is well known for its difficulty and is one of the defining games of its genre. The original game was created in 1994, either known as UFO Enemy Unknown or XCOM UFO Defense. The game was published by Microprose and was designed and programmed by Julian and Nick Gollop, who had been inspired by the Civilization series to produce their own strategy game. It was an immense success for its time, achieving a cult following and inspiring many games afterwards. Now, I'm not going to go into every game that followed this first game because there were a lot and many weren't particularly notable. After initial success, the franchise quickly fell from favor. The last published game they'd made came out in 2001. However, in 2005, 2K Games purchased the rights to publish XCOM games, and eventually a reboot was given a chance designed by Jake Solomon. That game, XCOM Enemy Unknown, came out in 2012 and was met with critical and commercial success, and just like that, the franchise had been revived. Enemy Unknown received an expansion called XCOM Enemy Within. The franchise also had a much worse received and selling game called The Bureau XCOM Declassified. That game did not have the same core gameplay or story of the other XCOM games, so its lack of success didn't seem to bother 2K much, and since I didn't play it, I can't comment on it. In 2016, a sequel to XCOM called XCOM 2 came out, followed by an expansion called XCOM 2 War of the Chosen the next year. Still well received and selling well, the franchise seems to have hit a groove. We'll have to see if the XCOM 3 is on the way, in perhaps 2020, if they keep to the pattern. But let's deal with the two we do have, because this video is about them. Also, the expansions have a lot of content, and I've played through both expansions, so I'll probably be mentioning aspects from them. I'll try to remember to specify so that people will know those features won't be in the base game. Having not played the older games, though, they will not be included in this video. What is the story behind XCOM, though? For XCOM Enemy Unknown, you are the commander of an international group established to counter the extraterrestrial threat. In short, an alien invasion has happened, your job is to defend Earth from them. You do this by going on missions to counter their attacks, shoot down UFOs, train your soldiers, and research and engineer ways to defeat the invasion for good. Many prominent countries back XCOM, but as attacks increase in quantity and brutality, they may be forced to drop out of the XCOM project. Together with the best soldiers and brightest scientists and engineers, you will work towards saving Earth. Spoilers, you save Earth. Or do you? Here's the thing. XCOM 2 takes place in a timeline where the alien invasion is not defeated and instead takes over Earth and puts a new regime in place called Advent. In that game, you become the invaders, or more accurately, insurgents, as XCOM turns into a guerrilla resistance movement attempting to undermine and eventually overthrow the alien rulers. Both games are also concerned with discovering the reason behind the invasion in the first game and occupation in the second game. No one's going to mistake this story as being one of the best created by any game series, but the stories are well set up and have creative ideas to explore. Especially XCOM 2, which the idea for partially came about because most people playing Enemy Unknown got a game over at some point. Definitely guilty of that. The gameplay, though, is where XCOM really shines, and we'll first go into the management portion of the game. Most of the basic structure between the two games is the same, and that starts with the base management. In this stage, there are certain areas around the base you can go to and do stuff that'll help you out in your war against the aliens. You can research new technology, engineer a myriad of items or weapons, clear out space for new facilities, and then build said facilities, manage your soldiers, and simulate the time forward in front of a giant map of the world. In addition, in the first game, you have a hangar where you deploy your ships for shooting down UFOs. Not actually as fun a part of the game as you'd expect. And another menu designed to keep track of the nations backing you in the XCOM project. You also get monthly reviews where you are evaluated on how you're doing and provided additional money, or supplies as they call it, to continue fighting on. You can get more supplies by, in the first game, constructing satellites over the continents, or in the second game, contacting local resistance in a particular region. Additionally, if you put enough satellites or make enough regional contacts on a particular continent, you get a special bonus. These regions need to be defended and unlock more missions once contacted or satellited. You can't do every mission though, so you need to weigh carefully the risks and rewards of particular missions. Once you've chosen a mission though, you equip your soldiers and send them off to die. I mean, totally defeat the aliens. One thing before I get into the on-the-ground battles regarding some characters. Your soldiers have basically no personality, so they don't matter much in the base, but there are some characters in the command structure who are important. Doctors Valen and Tygan, the Shens, Bradford, and the Spokesman all feature prominently through either one or both games. It's not deep character development, but they do have distinct personalities that help lend flavor to the game, and its story especially. Your interactions with them at the base and out in the field are nice, even if Bradford talks incessantly in XCOM 2. He's just worried about your soldiers out in the field. Speaking of which, now we get into the true battles, where you send between 4 to 6 soldiers out to complete dangerous missions. For XCOM Enemy Unknown, these missions include standard alien abductions, site recon, terror site, base or ship assaults, and if you have the Enemy Within expansion, a base defense mission and covert operations. XCOM 2 has even greater variety of missions, so I won't go into all of them, but these missions can include destroying an enemy device, hacking a workstation, rescuing a formerly captured soldier or VIP, an assassination mission, a supply raid, alien facility assaults, and ship defense or camp defense missions. War of the Chosen steps up these missions even more with coordinated missions with non-XCOM factions and new unexpected threats. There are a lot of missions, so you won't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, especially given the varied maps. Let's talk about the soldiers on these missions, though. Each soldier is given a class if they survive past the basic rank of recruit. In the first game, the classes are the Close Combat Specialist Assault, the Explosive Expert Heavy, the Sniper, the Support, and later on Psionic Soldiers. Enemy Within adds a Mech Trooper and the ability to use a resource called Meld to genetically modify your soldiers. XCOM 2 has the Grenadier instead of the Heavy, the Ranger instead of the Assault, they get swords, the Sharpshooter instead of the Sniper, the Specialist instead of the Support, and the Psi Operative. They're mostly the same classes though, but XCOM 2 War of the Chosen adds in faction soldiers such as the Skirmisher, the Templar, and the Reaper. Each soldier gains experience and gets promotions where you can choose their skills based off of a skill tree, progressing up to some seriously powerful abilities. It is a wise idea to keep a good rotation of soldiers with varied classes and skills in case someone unexpectedly dies on a mission. What makes the permadeath system in XCOM worse is that most players, such as me, base our soldiers off of people we know, friends, family, celebrities, you name it. XCOM Enemy Unknown offers a fair amount of customization to make the soldiers the way you want, but you have to create a new one for each soldier you get if you want them in the game. XCOM 2 steps this up by offering more customization options across the board and the ability to create a customized character pool. Now you only have to create that friend's character once for infinite playthroughs, and they'll just be drawn at random from the pool. Also, if you really want a particular person on your team, it's not that difficult to get them, given all the opportunities for recruitment and the like throughout the game. It just makes the whole thing more painful, such as in XCOM Enemy Unknown when one of my nameless soldiers panicked and killed their fellow soldier who was based off of a friend of mine. I wasn't vindictive at all. I didn't rename them that person's murderer and then fire them from XCOM. Oh wait, that's exactly what I did. Once you're into combat, you move about in a grid-based system with all your soldiers, then the enemies all move, and so on until the mission finishes. Although there are actions, such as the Overwatch ability which allows soldiers to shoot on an enemy's turn, that activate not on your turn, for the most part once you hit end turn, you're done. Soldiers use cover to hide and protect themselves from enemy fire. Full cover is best shown here by the full shield icon, half cover is the half shield, and anything else is no cover and an inviting target. Enemies also use cover, unsurprisingly, to reduce your chances to shoot them. And it is a chance. You have a percentage chance to hit a shot and a damage range in which your hit could land. Other abilities may have similar percentage chances, but others are automatic hits within a certain range, such as grenades. XCOM 2 complicates the damage part by adding in grazed shots, which still hit, but do fewer points of damage. XCOM and enemy health are easily seen on the screen, so you know when a soldier or enemy is low in health. Given the various soldiers and weapons at your command, there are several ways to kill aliens. However, the aliens have even more variations in weapons. There are many types of aliens, so I won't list them all. There are aliens with psionic abilities, some powerful enough to mind control your soldiers on the battlefield. There are robotic opponents created by the aliens, some humanoid creatures, some aliens with cloaking abilities, and more. Most have weapons they can use to try to shoot you as well, although some rely on melee, and those ones can be incredibly dangerous foes, chrysalids being the ultimate example. The variation of enemies on a map increases as the game goes on, as does their difficulty. In the expansion War of the Chosen, the game introduces 3 extremely powerful enemies that come back time and time again to sabotage unrelated missions and wreak havoc with your plans. These enemies are no slouch, so tread cautiously on the battlefield until you realize that it's a timed mission, then panic! Panic! Okay, I think we're good now. I can wrap up the video with my closing thoughts. Variety is the spice of life. If that's true, then XCOM is pretty spicy because no 2 games of XCOM are the same. Whether it's the variation in the soldiers, the missions, the maps, the enemies, or your successes and failures, both XCOM games have a great deal of replayability. The story serves well to justify the gameplay with some surprisingly nice storytelling moments. The environment is excellent with solid soundtracks that put you into the world. Additionally, strong sound effects and design for the aliens increases the fear factor, and the environment, especially in the second game, is incredible. The gameplay, though, stands above all because of the amount of strategic depth both in the base management and combat parts of the game. Each decision could mean life or death in your struggle against a threat menacing the entire world. No pressure. Both of these games offer this solid experience, and even if I prefer the streamlined and more innovative second game, in my opinion, y'all, my opinion, the first game is still an incredibly good game on its own merit. I just want to not have to go through the tedium of creating my own soldiers each and every time I play the game. And I get that in 2, so if you are a fan of strategic games, if you can handle a game that has a fair amount of difficulty attached to it, and you like to rage when your soldiers miss high percentage shots that then lead immediately to their death, then this is certainly the game for you. Now get out there and show the aliens who's boss, Commander. This has been Commander Rio telling you why you should play XCOM. If you are so inclined, a like, comment, share, or subscribe would be much appreciated by me. And in any case, happy gaming.
Good luck, Commander.